Because I know due to COVID, obviously things are looking so different. So how do you manage that? How do you handle that?
It's been extremely frustrating, to be honest with you. And I haven't been nearly as effective as an educator. You know, I kind of put it more like I've been providing some learning opportunities, not necessarily teaching. The kids not tuning in because their grades weren't going to be affected was part of, it'll be a little different scenario when we fire up again. I'm doing some homework and trying to figure out, I'm taking a class and talking with different people on how to make this the most effective that we can as we move in. But with a lot of the kids that I have, they're not all self-motivated, want to achieve in school type of crew. My job has been more to love them and show them that somebody cares about them and provide a safe place and get them to at least want to come to school a little bit. So how do I do that remotely? I haven't fully figured that out.
Right.
I'm still hoping that maybe I can get a certain clientele of kids on campus in small groups here and there to form those relationships that we talked about earlier, because an awful lot of my effectiveness relies upon a relationship with kids and developing that pat on the back and that I can see in your eyes you're struggling right now. How can I help you? And have those conversations and to somehow make them feel valued or appreciated. And I don't know that I can do that remotely.
Yeah. And these are the Anchor Academy students?
Yeah.
Could you go into talking about like what exactly is Anchor Academy for someone who doesn't know?
Yeah. Anchor is kind of a school within a school that has focused on kids that have traditionally not been successful in school. They got pretty good about sitting in the back of the classroom, getting C's and D's and failing some classes, not coming to school, like school's not their thing. And we've tried to create a safe place, for them to come to school. And academics is not what drives us. It's trying to make a place that is much less painful than a traditional school system for them. We don't have classes on Mondays right now. In the past, we would be at the food bank or the Humane Society or Mendocino Land Trust working on trails or teacher aides in the classroom. And, a lot of these kids sacrificing that their parents maybe didn't make for them in supporting them and whether that was to sit down to read to them or a lot of broken homes and that kind of thing. Right. And so to try to big picture wise to know that something's bigger and that somebody has it tougher and to not wallow in their self-pity, but that you can do this and that you haven't participated here, but you can and you will, and there are other ways that you can be successful and contribute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Necessary.
It's been fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know it was still going.
Yeah.
I was in Anchor Academy and it actually helped me out a lot because going into high school, I started my freshman year, like the second half of my freshman year, and I didn't even have aspirations of going to school, and it was like teachers that actually like cared about you and helped you out, like a lot of the times I feel like we got a lot of slack because the teachers did a lot for us and in the regular classrooms, AP setting, like you're kind of on your own, but like shout out to Miss Farrell, shout out to Miss Titchen, and like if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have gone to school because they were pushing me so hard to go to school. Like originally it was SRJC, and I was like, yeah, I know a little bit about it. My brother was gonna go there. We went to go visit the campus. It was nice, but I didn't really know a lot about school. Like I didn't know how to apply. I didn't know how to even go about it, And they were like a big help trying to get me to go to school, and it was just something off that, just kind of plant the seed in your head, and then from there, like you said earlier, it opens a lot of doors. So I'm always going to be thankful for that. Like they helped me out a ton, and it was a setting like that. And what I can compare it to is almost kind of like a junior college setting. very small classrooms. You get a relationship with the teacher, like they help you out a lot. And something going back to like what you guys said about like remote learning, I feel like it's kind of a bad thing. Cause like I know being like, you guys are the teachers, you guys teach it. There's obviously a difference in teaching it, but being the student and like having the whole semester be in class and then switch to online, like you lose quality in learning.
Oh, for sure.
And for me, it was almost like I see the positive and the negative about it. Cause when I switched, it's like, okay, now I can take my exams and I can cheat and I can, you know what I'm saying? So it helped me out in a class that I was struggling in. Like I ended up getting a better grade, but in reality, like I didn't learn as much as I would in class. And I feel like that's a big thing for like, maybe the kids don't know it now because they're so young and they don't really understand like the importance of getting help in classrooms or maybe building good habits and asking questions. But I know for me, like being there and understanding the both sides of it, it was like almost crippling me in a way, you know? And I feel like that's kind of like a bad thing, especially the kids at a young age that almost rely on school, that it's their escape. Yeah. They need the help, you know, like that's.
Yeah, for a lot of our kids, you know, it's their safe place. It's their sanctuary. Exactly. It's some place that they go. And, you know, one shoe doesn't fit all. And Anchor Academy has been a place where we've been able to meet more kids' needs. And for some kids, independent study and working at their own pace and, you know, self-motivated and resourceful and finding different things and being able to like, okay, I'm in, you know, algebra 2 mode right now. I'm going to get 4 hours done. Like some of those kids, like that works for them rather than 45 minutes every day, to where there's been some that have been more successful and more turned it in, have been super productive. But those are few and far between. I think.
Have you had a lot of kids? Because I don't know like about the program after I left. Have you guys had a lot of kids move on to school from the program?
All JC about, I think you're our only 4-year kid. Yeah. And that you took the electives that you needed to outside to stay A to G. And I think we maybe fudge factored for you a little bit. A little bit.
Pull some strings for me.
Yeah.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, if I had to go back and do it again, I probably would have went to junior college out of high school. I feel like it would have been a much easier transition, very much more affordable. But it was a huge culture shock, like a huge transition. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say like, oh, I could have learned more. I could have done better to prepare for it. But junior college is definitely a really good route to go about. And then from there, you can kind of test the waters in some classes, see what you like, see what you don't like.
Yeah, there's no shaming.
There's no shame at all.
Absolutely not.
And if I were to go back, I probably would have done that, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, and we all discover things on our own timeline and how we figure it out, and when we find our passion and where we're going. You know, I want as many kids to keep as many doors open for as long as they can, but I realize and appreciate that the 4-year school is not for everybody right off the get-go. And, you know, with a lot of the Anchor kids, it's, you know, let's find you a skill and a trade and something that you can get trained on to where you can earn a living wage in our community, whether that's a plumber or electrician or, you know, some internship apprentice types of scenarios. You know, working in the trades around here is a way that you can support your family. Yeah. So it's certainly an avenue that I think I'd like to see more people explore. You know, college, whether it's 4-year or JC, to me isn't about intelligence or upbringing, or it's about perseverance, you know, and like you can all do it. It might take you a little longer. It might, you know, the sacrifices that you might have to make might be a little greater, but it's doable if the goal at the end is meaningful enough for you.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part, is like, especially for kids at that young age, like for them to understand, I'm going to have to pick something in life, you know, like what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I want to do? And a lot of the times, like we've talked about this before, like as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid, like that's so much pressure on your shoulders at a young age. Like I don't even know, you know?
They don't have to make the decision at the age,
Yeah.
but they think they do. I feel like there's this
there's so much
misconception where
pressure,
like
yeah.
by the time you're a junior or senior, you should know what you want to do. So that way you can plan those last 2 years and get the schooling done that to go on to the 4 year, or to have that backbone or background so you can jump right into the field. But it's like, no, you don't. I went to college thinking I was going to go in science, and then I ended psychology, you know, I went different in sociology, and I didn't know until my sophomore year what I wanted to do. And that's totally fine, you know?
And absolutely. And I think to follow your passions, and you mentioned like what you like. And I think part of what I struggle with a little bit is that kids can't tell me what they like. You know, like it's okay to not know what you want to do, but do you prefer doing this or do you prefer doing that? Do you like that? Well, I don't know. Like, you know, to me, it was very clear. Like I much prefer doing mathy science stuff than reading and writing. So like, let's explore that a little bit and see where it goes. And, so that part, and there's so many different jobs and niches out there, like follow your passion and then let the job fall into place after that. Like don't go to school for the job. Go to school to learn about something that you dig on.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that, because that's what I did. I went in trying initially to be a doctor, ended up not liking it. And then when I switched to psychology, I ended up loving it so much. I came back, I found a job in that field, ended up loving it. And now that's why I decided to go into teaching now, because, okay, I can work in that field some more because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, one of the avid kids that I have a good relationship went to Cal Poly to study math. You know, I was a good mentor for her. And she like, hey, that's not a bad gig. And like, third semester calc, like this, you know, this is hard. I'm not motivated. I'm not doing well in my classes. Found ethnic gender studies, like killing it. A's and B's, like so motivated in a different part of the history that she wasn't exposed to as a Latinx girl. And like, you know, just to see the passion in these kids' eyes. We've had a couple lunches, and like, for them to dig on what they're studying and be passionate about it and want to make a difference and learn more. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah.